The position that you want to lay down in will just be really specific to what makes you feel good. So you might find that you have a prop that you like to use. You might find that you like the knees bent with the feet to the outer edges of the mat. This is my personal favorite. You might like the soles of the feet together with the knees open. You might like kind of big starfish out with the body nice and wide. So regardless of what you choose to do in the position that you choose to lay in, remembering the purpose and the intention of your savasana, you can let the eyes close down. And just coming into this idea of what our savasana, or some people say shavasana, so what this translates to, and the wording, it loosely translates to corpse pose or dead body pose. And we can use that translation and apply it in a couple of different ways. So if you think about this translation on an energetic level, obviously we're very much alive. So there's a fundamental difference there. However, our energy is intending to be very drawn inward through our savasana. And through that drawing inward of our energy, we're coming into a very restful state. And that might not happen the first savasana of your practice. Maybe it happens the second, third, or the last one. So just inviting your energy and your emotion and those deeper parts, maybe non-tangible parts of yourself, inviting those parts to be in a place of rest. You may have done a lot of things in your day. You may have focused and put effort into things that were outside of yourself. And so now is the time for you to release from that and just completely anchor your attention right here in these moments, in your body, on your mat. And we can look at the translation of savasana in a physical sense. And you might just do a little scan of the body from the toes, relaxing, dropping, and that equals stillness. Up through the shins, the calves, the knees, up into the thighs and the hips, the pelvis, the buttocks, dropping, relaxing, stillness. Moving through the lower half of the spine, the tailbone, you can start low. Moving through the middle area of the spine, the upper area of the spine, into the neck, dropping, relaxing, stillness. Moving through the upper portion of the arms, down to the elbows, through the lower half of the arms, into your hands, your fingers. Again, dropping the bones, the muscles, the effort, the energy. Relaxation through the drop and stillness. Coming into awareness through the face, the mouth, cheeks, your jaw, nose, eyes, forehead, scalp, and the hair. Feel that drop. Drop comes into heightened relaxation. And those two things are followed up by more stillness. And then just noticing the body. So again, we're very much alive, we're very much present, but we're starting to anchor our energy in our physical bodies in a way that is fundamentally different than our active postures. And through this dropping into your mat, I want you to start to notice the rhythm or the feeling of your breath moving in by the nose. Perhaps it moves out by the nose, or maybe there's a bit of a sigh as it moves out by the mouth. Just noticing. And we'll just be here for a couple more breaths. And right towards the end of this original resting position that we're in, I want you to just start to bring to the forefront of your mind something that you are working towards with the help of your yoga practice. So it could be patience, it could be acceptance, it could be longer hamstrings, it could be something physical, something non-physical. What are you working to cultivate with the help of your yoga practice? And just letting that sit with you for the last breath or two here. And maybe even repeating that almost like a mantra. I am working towards, and then you can fill in the blank. And just in your own way, in your own time, if you have any props underneath you, just gradually allow them to slide out using your hands or the legs to slide the props out. And with that will come a bit of movement. So if you have no props, I just want you to start to move through your toes and your fingers. And notice perhaps there's already this desire to breathe in deeply and to start to incorporate movement through other parts of the body. So maybe the head will move from side to side. Perhaps you'd like to even lift the forearms off the ground, and maybe even lift the arms entirely off the ground, maybe reaching the arms over the head nice and long, coming into this big stretch through the toes all the way towards the fingers. And when you're ready from this position, we'll draw the knees in towards the chest and we'll come into this squeeze here. Maybe you squeeze the knees towards one another and rock from side to side. Perhaps you prefer to move the legs independently of one another. So they can circle separately. They can circle in the same direction or opposite directions. And remember, this is just time for you to notice, time for you to play and almost come into a bit of self-expression. And this doesn't have to be something that looks good, right? It's not about the self-expression in this way is about expressing what the inside is trying to communicate to us. So maybe if we feel we need a bit of twisting action, then we're going to let the knees drift over to one side or the other together. Maybe we need a bit more compression into the abdomen and we kind of squeeze the knees in. Maybe you want to even release the arms and let the legs move without the help of the arms. So what do you want to do? How do you want to express the messages that your body is trying to give you? I'll just do this for a couple more breaths. Maybe the head lifts off the mat. Keep moving for the last moment or two. And then finishing on the back, if you have moved from that position. Let's hug the right knee in and let the left leg go long. So we want to feel the left leg really anchored down to the mat, and you can anchor that specifically by flexing the left toes towards the face. So although this might not seem like a hamstring stretch, just the simple action of flexing the toes towards the face creates muscle activation through the thigh, the quad, and that helps to gradually release the hamstring. So we'll keep the grip nice and tight on the right leg and gradually draw the right knee. It's not going to pull directly on top of your right ribs. Pull the leg slightly out to the right side and then draw the knee down towards that right shoulder again. From here, we're going to take 2 little lifts and lowering of the head. So chin to chest, lift, and you can look into your belly. Exhale, slowly lower down, but try to keep your eyes like you're looking to your belly. Again, lifting up, holding here, and then exhale, lower down. Keep your eyes as if you're trying to still look into your belly, and this will really anchor the back of your neck closer to the mat. So we're getting a good stretch through the back of the body by flexing the left toes, and also imagining the crown of the head is going to lengthen to wherever is behind you. Chin down, so it's a really good chance to get that throat compression. Feel your elbows squeeze in, and you might find there's a little bit of pressure into the right hip. Be mindful of this pressure and start to defer or decide for yourself if you need to release a bit of pressure with your pull, or can you stay with it? Breathing calmly. And at the end, again, checking your chin is still down, the back of the neck is getting closer to the mat. Now your shoulders are away from your ears. And as you come into your last breath cycle, when you exhale, pull your knee down and squeeze your elbows in a bit more. Good. From here, we're going to bend into the left leg, left foot flat onto the mat. You're going to slowly let the grip go and extend the right leg up and flex the toes. Good. Then from here, we're going to take 3 heel taps with the heel coming down. So go slow. All the way. Heel taps down to the mat. Inhale. Draw the leg up above you. 2 more. Letting the legs slowly release. Now this time when the legs come up, I want you to reach your arms up like your fingers are going to touch the ceiling. Keep the arms there. The leg lowers down to tap. And again, inhale, the leg comes up. Now we're going to hold. So although this might not seem like it's the deepest hamstring stretch you might have ever done, we work a lot with this concept of open chain stretching. So rather than just grabbing the back of the leg and pulling, which is quite a surprise and quite a stressful way to create flexibility in the body, we take the strength of the front of the right leg and we use that strength to create stretching. Now you can send your left leg out long, but if the right leg pulls away from you quite a bit, then you might just bend that knee slightly. Especially if the right knee is bending a lot, then definitely bend the left knee so the right leg can go straight. And from here, without bending your right knee, without moving your arms, I want you to imagine that you're drawing your foot in the frame of your hands. So it might move a lot, it might move only a tiny bit. It might just be a thought in your mind that doesn't actually generate a lot of movement at all. But with the strength of the right quadricep muscle, the flexing of the toes, we can begin to create a communication system in the body. We actually don't even have to create it, we're just capitalizing on it. So we're working with a reflex in the body called reciprocal inhibition, where the front of the thigh creates a muscle contraction and it sends a message to the back of the thigh, the hamstring in this case, to open. It says, hey, we're trying to do a job at the front, so can you guys at the back let go? Can you let go? Can you open? Can you release? So we just work within that. And now if you would like to, you can just take a little bit of fingertip pressure either on the back of the right thigh, the back of the right knee, the calf, or the big toe, just depending on where your leg is, and you can create a little bit of a pull. Now your leg might not even be close to the fingers. Yeah, that's fine. You can just use a little bit of hands. Now remember that still the majority of the work should come from the front of the right thigh itself. If we rely solely on the hands, then that knee is most likely going to bend and we lose the contraction in the front of the thigh, which means the back of the hamstring will tense up. So I just want you to use those hands for the last 2 breaths here. I know we've been here for a while, to gradually draw the leg a little bit closer, but stay active, especially through your bottom left leg. That's an anchor. Okay, good. Now slowly we'll stabilize this leg. So I want you to release the hands, but keep the leg, if you can, where it is. Take your time to very slowly lower the right leg down for 5. Kick through the heel. For 4. Now as we go halfway, I want you to point your toes. For 3. For 2. And for 1. And then both legs can relax. And I just want you to feel in your savasana that flush of blood. This is a beautiful thing. This is a principle in our yoga practice that is really a tremendous contributor to the healing benefits of yoga. Increased circulation, lymphatic drainage. Feel that shift of blood through the sensation of the legs, the temperature. Okay, and we'll bend both of the knees. And from here, squeeze the knees into the chest. Just for one moment here, squeeze in, and we'll let the left leg stay in and the right leg go long here. We'll flex through the right toes. Try to interlace those fingers so you're right up to the webbing. And if you're looking for maybe a bit of symmetry within the brain, then you could potentially swap. So the non-dominant fingers go in front versus always the dominant. For me, it's always my left hand fingers go in front of my right hand fingers. But if I swap it over, then I can feel it's a little bit strange. So whichever one feels strange or unfamiliar, that's the one you want to do. And work to gradually pull that knee down, down, down. And then from here, we'll allow the left knee to come slightly out to the left side, but not to the point where you have a big gap between your thigh and your ribs. Flex through your right toes to feel your right calf muscle anchor down. And from here, 2 lifts of the head off the mat, lifting up. 1, chin to chest, look into your belly, and lowering all the way down, but looking still down your chest. And again, lifting up. Second time around, hold. And then again, lower down. That's it. Keep your chin to your chest. Looking down. Back of the neck nice and long. Shoulders dropping away from your ears and elbows squeezing in. So what we're working on here is, yes, that flex through the right foot. We've already worked on opening the back of the right leg. We'll eventually get to the left leg. But we're also really working on the digestive system. So when we squeeze the right knee in, which we've already done, we worked on stimulating through the ascending colon. And now with the left leg, we work on stimulating through the descending colon. This is the elimination process. Again, be mindful of sensation in that hip joint, shoulders down, elbows squeeze in, chin down. Keep trying to get the back of the neck to magnetize closer and closer down towards the mat. Chin down, shoulders down. Last breath cycle here. Tighten a little bit through the grip as you pull, and exhale, squeeze your elbows in and your shoulders away from your ears. From here, we'll bend into the right knee, right foot flat. Take your time to slowly release the left leg, kicking the heel all the way up towards the ceiling. We'll tap the heel down for 3. And then inhale, drawing the leg up. For 2, tapping the left heel down. This time, inhale, take the arms up, reach high to the ceiling, keep the arms there. For 1, tap the heel, inhale, and pause. Now you have the option to keep your right knee bent, or maybe sending the right heel just a little bit further away from the buttocks, or maybe completely straightening the right leg altogether. So how would you know whether or not you should straighten the right leg? If your left knee stays comfortably straight and you can still straighten the right leg, then that's a good indication the body's ready. But if when you straighten the right leg, your left knee bends and it also pulls away from your body, then you might want to bend that right knee a little bit more to prioritize this straight position through the leg. And then just noticing sensation that might be building up. We do spend a bit of time here. Again, we're working with reciprocal inhibition. This is a natural reflex. It's like our bodies, our muscles' communication system. So right now we actively engage the front of this leg in order to release through the back of the leg. The body communicates. That's it. And then from here, without bending your left knee, without moving your arms, try to draw your foot closer into the frame of the hands. Notice where the knee wants to bend. Remember that we're not trying to intentionally lift the tailbone up off the mat. So if you notice that you have space, or there is maybe, sometimes we're not conscious of lifting the tailbone up. So just let your tailbone relax down so that the movement is strictly in the back of the leg rather than moving through the hips. We're here for another few breaths. Still imagining, even if there's not a great deal of movement, we still need to do a great deal of energetic attention to maintain this position or to maintain our maximum effort, our maximum depth. And then we just keep knocking on the door of the next layer. Calm breath, relaxed jaw. You can use the hands if you would like to, using a little bit of pull. We're here for 5. For 4, you can grab back of the thigh, back of the knee, back of the calf, big toe. 3. I know my counting is way longer than normal seconds. 2. Remember not to use too much of hands to pull. The leg is still doing the work. The hands are a guide. 1. Now we'll stabilize the leg by first letting the hands go. And we'll take the time to slowly 5. Lower the leg down. 4. When you're halfway, point your toe. 3. Long through the toes. 2. And 1. And just find stillness. So noticing again that beautiful flush. I always like to refer to this as like slingshot blood. It's quite similar to the tourniquet effect, where you're temporarily restricting blood flow to a particular area of the body, and when it releases, it's pulled up like a dam, and it's really high pressure, like a pressure washer, high speed, whoosh, coming through, helping to create some space, healing through the blood. Okay, nice stuff. Let's start to rock onto the spine. So we'll squeeze the knees in towards the chest. Give them that nice squeeze in. And from here, bring the legs to a 90-degree angle. Bend in the knees. Lift your head off the mat. Grab the backs of the knees. Now, when we start to rock, be mindful that the rock is not coming because you're kicking your shins up and down. The rock is not occurring because you're squeezing your thighs closer and further away from you. The rock happens, I keep thinking of that. The rock happens because you're pulling your hands on your thighs, and that is directly linked to the abdomen. This is what this rocking is designed to do. So go ahead and start to rock, but try to keep the shape, trying not to allow any more or less bending in the knees, trying not to allow any more or less bending in your elbows. You can point the toes if you prefer, and you might go a little bit slower just to feel into some of that control. And then come all the way up. And from here, you can have the toes tap the ground. You can have the legs a little bit lifted, shins parallel, or you might have the legs high. The choice is yours. We're gonna pull the chest to the thighs and look up. Keep space in the back of the neck. So the difference between space or no space, if I look up to the ceiling, this is no space in the back of my neck. If I still look up, but I go long and tall, I don't have any wrinkles in the back of the neck. Now you can choose to keep the hands here. You can choose to let go. You could do one at a time. You could do both together. You could do arms outside, forward, up above you. The choice is yours. We're here for another 5 counts. So just lifting the chin to keep the chest lifted. We want to keep the close proximity between chest and thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, let's cross the left leg in front of the right leg. And you're just going to circle your chest from the left to the right. So going and circling the chest. So again, allow this movement to be a self-expression for you. Your hands do not have to be in the same place as mine. Perhaps you want to use them in a different way. You also might like to rock back when your body weight shifts back. Maybe you really want to rock onto the tailbone. Up to you. Let's go one more or so in this direction. Coming into the center, swap the opposite leg in front, right foot is in front, and going to the right, the left. And shifting around here. So we're going to work a lot with the principle today of how we can use muscle activation through the front side of the body to release the tight muscles in the back of the body. 1 or 2 more in this direction. And then we'll come back up into the center. Good. Let's bend the knees, soles of the feet flat onto the mat. So you don't want them to be quite close in. Let's send them a little bit further away. And you're just going to lean back on your hands. It doesn't matter how, whatever works for you, whatever is comfortable. We'll kick through the left heel, flex the toes towards the face. We're going to lift the leg up into the air 3 times. So breathing in, lift the leg up, 3. Exhale, lower down. It might only come off the ground a hair. Inhale, coming up. 2, exhale, lower down. Last time, coming up, 1. I want you to hold here. Take the right arm, reach it forward, coming into a twist. That's it. Then tap the hand back behind you. 2 more like that. Reaching the arm through, coming into a twist, and arm reaches behind you. Last one, reaching and twist. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hand back, lower the leg down, then bend the knee. Maybe give a bit of a shake if you need to, okay? And we'll come into the other side, so kick forward through the right leg. Inhale, leg lifts up. Exhale, lower the leg down. Don't worry about how high it goes, keep it straight. Lift it up. If it starts to bend, don't go so high. Lower it down. Last one, inhale, lift. We're gonna pause there, shift the weight off your left hand, twist and reach. You can look back over your right shoulder and then lower the hand. 2 more like that. Twist and reach. And tap the hand back. Last one, twist and reach, hold. 3, 2, 1. Face forward, lower the leg down. Maybe you give it a little bit of a shake here and then bend the knee. Now this time when we do it, I want you to walk your hands in a little bit closer to your bottom. So for me, I started with my hands about this far away, and I'm just going to bring them in slightly closer. We're going to take it again. Left leg goes forward, kick the heel long. You can have the right leg in nice and close. You can have it a bit further. The choice is yours. So now instead of leaning back, we're going a little bit taller with the spine. Inhale, left leg lifts up and lower it down. Again, lift the leg, lower down, doesn't have to be high. Inhale, hold. Let's take the right arm forward, twist and tap the hand back. 2 more. Twist, use your breath. Tap the hand back. Last time, twist. Now see if you can, maybe this left arm reaches back as well for 3, for 2, and for 1. Let everything lower all the way down. Give it a little bit of a shake, and we'll come to the other side. So kicking forward through the right leg. Again, remember, we're not leaning back so far. We're a little bit closer just to prop the spine up taller. And inhale, 3 lifts. Lifting leg and lower. Lift right leg and lower. Last time, lift the right leg and pause, taking the weight off the left hand, twist, and then tap the hand back again. 2 more. Twist. Reach the hand back behind you. And last one, twist. Hold. Maybe you take your right arm and you reach it back as well for 3. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders for 2. Pausing there for 1. And then lower everything all the way down. Take both legs long and straight. Give them a little bit of a bounce here. And we'll get a nice stretch through the front side of the body. So bending the knees about hip width distance. Take the hands palms. You might start with the fingers facing back. You might choose them out, or you might choose the fingers to face in towards you. It's completely up to you, and you'll have a good idea of what you would like to do as you get up there. So you're gonna push down through the hands, palms, lift chest, lift chest. Try to come into a back bend without lifting your bum off the mat. Push, push, push through the palms. Then let's go slowly lifting the hips, lifting the tail. So you might need to readjust, perhaps walking the feet a little bit closer towards the mat. Don't have to be super, super high because we're going to do this 2 more times. Let's exhale, lower down. Bottom touches the mat. And then again, inhale, push. Lift the chest and chin and hips up, 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 good. And then exhale, lowering down. You can draw the chin down to the chest. 1 more. Lift the chin, lift the chest, push the palms, and then lift up. 3, 2, 1. Pause there for 1 breath cycle. And then pull your chin to your chest slowly. Allow everything to lower all the way down. Good. We're going to take 1 more little sequence with this leg lifting. So try to draw your hands in a little bit closer this time. Okay, we want the spine to be nice and straight, nice and tall, and that might mean you need to take the legs a little bit further away from you. Let's kick forward through that left heel. Inhale, 3 little lifts. 3 and 2 and 1. Stay there. Right hand reaches. 3, bring it back. 2, bring it back. 1, stay there. Maybe you reach long back. 3, 2, breathe. 1, let everything lower down. So what we're trying to do is not lean back too much, but rather keep the chest lifted and tall. Let's try the last side. Bending into the knees, kicking forward through the right heel. Let's go. Inhale, lift up. 3, and lower it down. Try to keep the spine tall. 2, and lower the leg down. Last time. 1. From here, left hand taps. 3 as you twist, and then bring it back. 2, and bring it back. Last time. 1. We can reach and stretch, pausing, but still, breath is normal. Body is free. We're not trying to prison the body or entrap it. And then lower everything down to the mat. Both legs go long. Give them a little bit of a bounce here. And from this position, we're going to come into a little squat. So we'll start with the bum on the mat. Feet are flat, and we'll wrap the elbows around the legs. You can interlace the fingers if you would like. And then inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, looking up. Let's exhale, like cat-cow, round the spine. Now you can rock back on the pelvis if you wish. Inhale, pulling forward, lift tall. Exhale, rock it back, chin to chest. Inhale, 3 more, coming forward. Exhale, round the upper back, chin into the chest. Inhale, lifting up. Tall, long spine. Exhale, rocking it back. I think this will be the last one we do. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rock it back. From here, lean back so that you can slide your hands around the front of the shins and just allow maybe a little bit of sway if that feels right for you. You want to feel into space that's being created in between the shoulder blades. Remember, your hands are like hooks, your arms are like ropes. So try not to pull with your arms, but rather use the fingers as little grips. Last breath here. You can also just stay still. Okay, let's inhale, come all the way up. Now, if you still need to stay on your bum, that's fine. If you have a block, you could block underneath your bum. Otherwise, you're going to lean forward and push up off of the buttocks completely until you're on the feet. And from this position, we're going to reach the body forward, and then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So let's exhale, reach the fingers forward, keep your eyes forward, and then inhale. You're going to lift the chest, and you can use your hands to push against the legs. Exhale, reaching forward. Now maybe you want to drop the chin in this position. Inhale, coming up, pushing. Backs of the arms on the inner legs. Exhale, reaching, Drop the head if you wish. Inhale, push. Spine tall. Last one. Exhale, reach. And then inhale, coming up as you push. Okay, beautiful. Let's bring the hands to the top of the mat. And from where you are, you want to make sure that you have enough room to be able to lean forward towards the top of the mat. So we're in the squat, lean lots of weight into your hands. Fingers spread nice and wide. Grip the floor with the fingertips. And you're going to dip your knees down towards the insides of your wrists. And then you're going to push back into your squat. 2 more times. Leaning forward, dipping the knees, and push back into the squat. Last one, leaning forward, dip the knees, push, hips back. Now, last time here that we're going to lean forward, and then I want you to pause. Start to take your gaze to look between your hands. Try to keep squeezing your knees towards your wrists as much as possible. Take your gaze in between your knees. You should be just even on your big toe maybe. Then take your gaze up into your abdomen. Now check, can you breathe? You don't need to pull your belly in tight here because as long as you're trying to squeeze your knees to your wrist, the abdomen will naturally engage. 3, 2, 1. Now look into the belly even more and lean on your hands more. Lift your tail up to the ceiling, and now you're in a forward fold position and go for a bit of a sway. Allow your feet to open as much as you need to and feeling into the back of the body. Spine long. That nice little shift of weight from one side to the other. You might prefer to just keep the legs a bit more passive and have the body hang and the spine really come into a feeling of traction. So we'll be here for about another 3 to 5 breaths. Just really feeling into this gradual release of the back body. If this is too much, you might have a block under your hands. You might have the elbows supporting onto the knees. This can feel really good to have the low back release as well. And just finding what works for you with the body that you have today. And from here, I just want you to draw the feet about shoulder width distance and feel the toes spread. Notice your heels, for the most part, are behind your toes. A little bend in the knees. Imagine you have like a tail that's kind of tucking between your legs. Keep your chin into your chest and go slowly uncurling. So one vertebrae at a time is tucking a little bit more to then slowly draw you all the way up. Just take your time. As you come up to standing, let's shrug the shoulders, breathe in. Exhale, shake it. 2 more like that, breathing in. And exhale. Last one. Let it go. Okay, draw the feet as close together as feels comfortable for you. That might be toes and heels connecting completely, or that might be some space. We'll take the hands palms and just gently turn the palms forward and let the eyes close. Just notice the feet grounding you, but also holding you up. Notice if you can connect to bounding and rebounding energies. Bounding comes from pushing the feet down. Rebounding happens, and then the spine lifts tall. So the rebound happens because of the bounding energy. Okay, we'll let the eyes open up. Let's inhale, reach the arms out to the sides. Come into an upright position. You're gonna just hook your thumbs, staying where you are on your mat. Your fingers can be spread nice and wide. Reach up and just start to move your body from one side over to the other. Just feeling into that release through one side of the body as you bend to the opposite side. And perhaps side to side is not enough for you. Perhaps you want to round it through the front. Perhaps you want to add a little bend of the knees as you round. Maybe you even want to go back a little bit. Maybe you want to create some waves in the spine. So just use, again, this is your own self-expression. Just a little bit of reach through those fingers to feel where you can bound again down through the hands, or through the feet rather, and rebound up through the arms. And then just finishing whatever movement you're on, we'll make our way back into the center. Inhale, let's reach up nice and tall, and exhale, allow the arms to release down. We'll hover the hands, palms just above the buttocks. Squeeze the elbows together, 3, 2, and 1. From here, place the hands onto the low back. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest. Feel that your toes are spread, and there's just a little energetic squeeze between your inner thighs. Remember that it's common for us to overdo things. So if you're already squeezing, you might not need to squeeze any more than that. You just maintain that. Now you can let your head go back, or you can keep your chest and the chin quite close to one another. Okay, and let's inhale, come back up to the center. Let's hover the hands away from the lower back, pausing there, and then inhale, turn the palms to face forward in front of you, reach the arms all the way up. This time, interlock your fingers, release your index fingers, cross your thumbs. We're gonna stretch up tall. You want the weight to feel the whole time on your heels. Take your body up and over to your right as you bump your hips over to your left. So you want to really create stretching down the left side of the body by lifting your right ribs away from the top of the right hip. So it's common for us to collapse and to twist the right shoulder back. So try to lift out of your depth slightly so you can have space, and then reach up and over for 3. Keep your weight on the heels, lift your chin off the chest. For 2, try to reach through your fingertips at the end further to your right. For 1, inhale, come up, and pause there. Let's go to the other side. Breathing in, go tall to the ceiling. Exhale, up and over. So lots of space this time between the bottom of the left ribs and the top of the left hip. Try not to have that twisting action with your left shoulder going back. Yeah? Lift out of your depth slightly, readjust. So both of your armpits, as if there's lights on them, they shine forward to whatever is in front of you. The depth is only relative to the form. Weight on your heels, we're here for 3. Use your left hand to pull your right arm up and over for 2. Keep your chin lifted and relax your breathing, your jaw for 1. Inhale, let's come up, up, up. Again, exhale, let the arms go down. Hover the hands above the buttocks, the low back. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. And then you can place your hands, palms on the lower back. Inhale, lift the chin. Lift the chest. Head can go back as much as you would like to. Try not to rely solely on your hands leaning on your back. The hands are there to lift your chest up, not for you to just collapse and sink down. Squeezing through the shoulder blades just a little bit. And then inhale, coming up. Hover the hands away from the lower back. Inhale, turning the palms forward. Let's reach the arms up nice and high. Hands, palms will just be separate from one another. Let's bend the knees and sit down into a chair pose. Weight on the heels, reaching the fingers forward nice and long. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Sometimes we get into this idea of the shoulders should be up to the ears or shoulders should be down to the ears, but they should be free. They should be free to move, not imprisoned in the body. Sit tail a little bit more back. Reach arms a little bit more forward, and then let's slowly forward fold, tapping the hands down to the ground, lifting the tail up. Start to alternate the bending of the knees, one and then the other. One and then the other. Now notice if you're holding your head up, try to drop it. Imagine that you have water being poured down your spine and it rolls down your neck into the hairline and drips down to the mat from the crown of your head. So long spine here. Couple more right and left knee bends. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna turn sideways so you can see as we do this next thing. You're gonna bend your knees. Feel your belly on your thighs. Feel your chest on your knees and your face draw towards the legs below the knees. Again, don't worry about where my body is going in relation to yours, but just try to connect to the cues. So belly down, thighs, chest down, knees, face close towards the legs below the knees. From here, reach your arms towards whatever is behind you. Now remember, in this position, we're not going straight behind us, nor are we going straight down. I want you to do like halfway. So the arms are kind of diagonally reaching back. And it's the energy of the reach that draws the body into the legs. And the inside of your biceps or your elbows or your forearms are going to be connected and sliding further along the outsides of your legs. Use the continued energy of the reach to encourage a continued drawing in of the belly towards the thighs. Pausing for one more breath here. And from this position, we're now going to wrap the arms around the calf muscles. So the left arm and the left hand goes around the left leg, and the right arm and the right hand goes around the right leg. Now start to give yourself just a little bit of a pulling energy and a lifting of your tail. Go very slow. And as you do this, roll your body weight ever so gently a bit more into your toes. It doesn't mean your heels lift off the mat. And you want to start to feel the crown of the head again. Imagine that water being poured down the spine, down the back of the neck, into the hair of the scalp, down the crown of the head, and dripping to the tops of your feet. Exhale, breathing. Soften your jaw. Notice how it feels if you let the shoulders come towards your ears or away from your ears, and what is preferable for you. Last moment here, right at the end. Exhale, draw the body in with a little bit of pull, and we're gonna release from here. Walking to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Whew. So fingers nice and spread, feet at the back of the mat, hands at the top of the mat. Now you might find you want to walk out your down dog. I personally find after doing this much hamstring opening, I don't really need to. But if you would like to, then listen to your body. We're going to be in this downward dog for a couple more breaths. So try to find at least 1 or 2 breaths of stillness. Imagine again this bounding down energy through your hands, and the rebound comes with the tail. So pushing down hands, and therefore the tail and the whole torso will become longer and extended. Remember, the knees can bend. There can be space between the heels and the mat. 1 more breath. Okay, let's look forward, lifting high on the toes, and you're just gonna bend the knees, untuck the toes, and just coming into a kneeling position here. So we're gonna work a little bit on some lower back opening. From this position, I want you to allow the feet to open so that they sort of frame the buttocks. So you can lean forward, lift the tail up, open up the feet, and then just see how you go with sitting the bum down between the heels. Now you might get here and maybe that's the extent of it. So if that is the extent of it and you need a block, you can definitely take a block. But I would say the next thing that you would like to try instead of a block right away is to just allow those knees to open a little bit and see how you feel, okay? So knees can open and then allow the bum to sit down. So you shouldn't have a lot of space or any space really between your foot, the inside of your foot, and the outside of the buttocks or the hip there, okay? So we're just gonna spend a couple of breaths in this position. Again, open the knees wider, wider, wider if you find that it's really challenging for you to be here. You can always use your hands to lift you a little bit away and then lower you a little bit down. Another option is to lean the body weight back. that can sometimes take pressure off of the knees. And we'll just pause again, just to allow the body to start to drop and soften ever so slightly here. Good. Okay, we're gonna come out of this. So leaning forward, I like to use my hands to push myself out of it. Leaning forward, you're gonna be in a tabletop position. And from tabletop position, let's take the weight off of the left hand and we're gonna step the left foot in between the hands. Now from here, we're gonna shift the body weight back and maybe walk that left foot a little bit more to the top of the mat, okay? Now, typically we stretch right away, but what we're gonna do is try and lift this leg off the mat. So if you have blocks, blocks can work really well, okay? The closer your hands are to the foot, the harder it is. The closer your hands are to your body, the more your weight is back, the easier it is. We're gonna lift the leg 3 times. So inhale, lift 3, lower down. Lift 2, lower down. This one we're gonna hold. Lift 5, 4, 3, even if it's a little bit, 2, 1. Now you can let the heel lower down, hands on the knee, inhale, lift up, exhale, start to slowly reach forward. So again, you might have the hands a little bit closer in towards you, or maybe the fingers reach further. Keep the toes flexed for these first few moments and just notice how that feels. You can look at the hips too and see, is one hip really sinking to the side? Am I really lifting one hip up while the other one is dropped down? What is going to give you the best stretch? Now let's work to point the toes and just see the difference in how that feels in the body. And then from here, inhale, we're gonna lift the body up. Bend into this left knee, foot flat. And from here, walk the foot a little bit to the left side of the mat. Bring the left arm on the inside, and we're gonna start to bend the elbows and round down like you're gonna bring the crown of your head onto the mat. Again, it doesn't matter if it goes that far or not. This might be the extent of it for you, no problem. And then inhale, lift up on the fingertips. Exhale. Each time I want you to curl in like you're gonna chase your back knee with your forehead. Inhale, coming up. Again, exhale, round, curling in. Pause here. Notice if your bottom is shifting really far back. Notice how it feels when you shift a little bit more forward and try to work your knee on that shoulder. So you might be up a little bit higher and you can still emphasize the chin coming into the chest and the left knee coming closer to the back of the left shoulder. And the more that you scoop your pubic bone in towards you, the more you can get a release through the low back by pushing those hands slightly down or again bending the elbows. One more breath. And we'll inhale, lift up. And from here, just step the leg back. Okay, we'll come into the other side. So shifting the weight off of the right hand and the right foot can step forward. And then from here, shifting the weight back to lengthen through the leg. Flex the toes. Again, the closer the hands are to the foot, the harder it is. The more that you can draw the hands closer towards the back leg, the easier it's going to be. We'll take the leg up, 3, and down. 2, and down. Last time we will hold 1. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg down, and then inhale. We'll lift the chin, we'll lift the chest. Go nice and long. That's it. And then from here, you can place the hand onto the leg, lifting up, and then folding forward. So the point of this is that we can get height and we can create space. Then from space, we start to address depth. But if we don't work on creating space, then it makes it hard to address the depth. So again, those toes are flexed for the first little bit. And you want to emphasize that the spine is not rounding here, that it's quite long. And what this does is it puts the stretch into the hamstring. Whereas if we round the spine, you pretty much lose that stretch. If you lengthen the spine, you'll feel it. Now point the toe and see how that feels in comparison. Maybe the body comes a little bit more forward. Last breath. And then we'll inhale, slowly come up. We're going to bend into that knee, walk the right foot more to the right side of the mat and bring the right hand on the inside. So as we do this, you want to make sure that you're not letting your bum go back and then letting it come forward. For the most part, you want to keep it in neutral or allow it to scoop a little bit more underneath you. So we'll inhale, we'll just lift the chest, lift the chin, exhale, and then round. So your elbows might bend a little, they might bend a lot, okay? Rounding in. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, rounding and curling in. Inhale, coming up. Last one, we'll hold. Round as you exhale, curling in. Play around with where your body weight is shifted. Do you want it more forward in your front foot? Do you need a little bit more in your back knee? Do you want to feel that your pubic bone is scooping a little bit towards you? Notice how it feels when you just let it go back. Do you need more pressure with your hands pushing down? Do you need less pressure with your hands pushing down? Do you want to try to drop the crown of the head closer down to the mat? There's all kinds of ways that we can benefit from this movement. You just got to find the right way for you. Okay, and we'll inhale, come all the way up, and we'll just go back to tabletop. Now, from this position, we're going to allow the feet again to open up out to the sides and start to allow the bum to sit down. Now, if you needed a block underneath your bum for the last pose, okay, the last time we did this, they can definitely put something underneath your bum. We are going to be taking the body weight forward. So because of that, I want you to try to keep your knees together as much as you can. If they need to open, that's totally fine, okay? Allowing the bum to sit down. So what we're looking to do here is create stretching through the low back. So we're going to start to come forward. And I just want you to start by dropping the head. Let your belly go soft. And then we'll be a little bit more active here. So exhale, try to draw your forehead down towards the tops of the thighs. Inhale, come up. Lift the chin. You can look up. Exhale. So it's the similar movement that we did when we had one leg in front. Inhale, come up. One more like that. Exhale. Inhale, coming up. And now this time, perhaps you walk the hands a little bit further forward. And then we're just going to stay there. You can have the chin forward or you can let the head drop. If you feel like you're ready to start to bend the elbows, you might bend the elbows. Okay. You might be staying with the elbows up on the thighs and just kind of hanging down in this position. Now, use the last half of this pose to explore as much depth and as much territory in your body as you need to. So that might be that your head is down on the mat. It might mean that you rest weight on your elbows. Perhaps you need to come up and make some adjustments in the body. You can have the arms passive, or you can stretch them really far forward to the top of the mat. Couple more breaths here. If you need to come out of it, no problem. Okay, if you're ready to make an exit already, otherwise we'll just stay for the last moment or two. And when you're ready to come out, use your hands to gradually lift you up. Use the hands beside the body to push down, to lift the hips. And then we'll just slide the feet around towards the top of the mat. So let's let the legs go completely. And I just want you to lay down on your back straight away and take your Savasana again. So we're just finding stillness straight away. Again, this idea of dropping, relaxing, and stillness. We're allowing that blood flow to return to normal. Couple more breaths here. Just starting to feel the whole body begin to resume a place of harmony. Feeling that stillness. We'll bend the knees, soles of the feet flat. Now you can take any twist that you want to. I'll just guide you through a basic one. Arms out to the sides. We'll lift the buttocks over to the left and then lower it back down. And allow the knees to drop to the right. You can turn your head over towards the left. If you prefer a different twist, then just find what is working for you. Feel the ribs relax. Relax your belly. If the head is turned, gently reposition the head, and in your own way, bring the knees back up to center. We'll move right into the next side, so lifting your hips up, bringing your buttocks over to your right, lowering it down to the mat, and then allowing your knees to lower to your left. You can turn your head over to the right. And just really feel into softening. The breath is very relaxed in the body. The gaze is very heavy or eyes closed. And we'll gently reposition the head if it's turned. Slowly bring the knees back up into the center. Reposition the hips. And from here, choose one side that you'd like to roll onto. Doesn't matter which one. Just finding a few breaths on your side. And when you're ready, gently make your way up to a seated position. Could be cross-legged or kneeling. Whatever feels good for you. There's no rush, so take your time. And when you get there, either eye gaze is down to the top of the mat or eyes are closed. And if this is a way that you like to finish your practice, you can draw your hands palms together in a prayer position. You can simply choose to just fold your palms in the lap or keep them on your knees. The meaning really comes from you. So whatever is meaningful for you, whatever is purposeful for you, that's where you want to place the hands. We'll just allow the chin to slightly bow down to the chest. This is a bowing of self. This is a recognition of your practice, of your efforts, the energy and the level of commitment that was required for you to spend this time and carve out this time for yourself. And as a result of doing that for ourselves, we automatically create more space to be able to support those people in our lives that need us. So acknowledging this practice for yourself and for others around you as well. Now I want you to just come back to that thought that we mentioned in the first part of the practice about what are you working towards? And instead of having that be something as a future tense, we're going to have it as a present tense. So if you're, for example, you are working towards using your yoga practice to help you work towards building patience, then you can say, I am patient. If you're using practice to work towards opening up the physical body, you could say, I am mobile, flexible, agile. So speak of it in present tense and just hold that with you. You might repeat it in your mind a few times, maybe even out loud. And once you have finished that, we'll let the arms relax and soften down. And keeping the gaze down, we'll just let the eyes open. If they have closed, you can blink a few times. And when you're ready, you can lift the chin. So thank you very much for coming into this practice and moving with me, breathing with me. It's been a really lovely practice, and I just really value this opportunity that we get to be able to move our bodies in this way, in any way that we can do it, any platform or any sort of space. So thank you so much.